All right, we're back down here. We're back at the MGB, 74.5. When I did the update video, I also forgot to tell that I upgraded the distributor. It's no longer points. Went onto eBay and got the Petronix the electronic ignition, so I took out the points, so I don't have any points anymore. I wish I was able, let's make sure everything's going good, because I haven't taken it off since I put it on. I don't like that being there. Let's see if we can do something. Maybe we can get it up a little bit more. Up to there. That should work. But I wish I was able to show you how to install that. It was actually pretty simple. There is actually a video on YouTube. If I can find it, I'll put the link in the description of how to install that, how to put it on. It's actually fairly simple to actually install it. You got the spacer there. I don't even think that's called the spacer. I can't remember what that's called. And you got your rotor, and there's your electronic ignition right there. Got the paste behind it. It was actually really easy to hook up and install. Now the thing about this was, when I got this vehicle, I tried turning it over. I already knew it didn't have spark because the guy that sold it to me said that he couldn't get the spark going. So I already knew it didn't have spark. And I wanted to upgrade that anyway. I wanted to get rid of the points. Points are a little bit of a pain in the ass, but if you're good at points, go ahead and keep the points in there. I'm not old enough to experience points and how to gap them and all that other stuff, so I just leave well and well alone. I'm the electronic ignition generation. I might have said that was a Petronix. I misspoke right there. I'm sorry. It's actually an Accuspark. I got this off of eBay. I can't remember what it was. Like 70 bucks or something like that. And it comes with the instructions. It was really easy to actually install. Now, like I said before, I also replaced the coil. Since it wasn't getting spark, I had no idea whether or not that coil was any good, so I just said screw it. Coil was cheap enough. I just bought a new coil. I bought the whole thing. Victoria British sells the whole thing, upgrade kit, so it came with the wires, the plugs, and all that stuff. Now, when I first got it, the guy had a red wire going from the ignition switch back here, where I have my red wire going, to hook up the Accuspark. Let me see if I can find it. I know I had to move a lot of this stuff around. Let me follow it. There it is. Okay. So what I did was I just went off of his. So I still went off of his splice. Now the thing is, you have to, the instructions also say, and it also talks about the ballast resistor, okay? This tells you what type of coil you got. It's really easy. You could actually go online, it shows you how to do this. If I can find that one, I think that's a Moss Motors YouTube video to where he shows you how to tell whether or not you got a ballast coil resistor or a non-ballast, a standard coil, okay? What puzzles me especially about this one, is I came to the conclusion, I mean, in the notes, it says, right there, if you're unsure of your ignition type, connect it as B. Okay? That's how I have it connected, right there. I have it connected, ballast ignitions, connect the 12-volt side of the resistor wire. Wait a minute, that's not right. Figure 1B. Sorry. I think that's... Oh, yeah. See figure 1B. Okay. Yeah, I was right. If the position of the resistor or wire is unknown, connect to the ignition key or the live side of the fuse box, not through the fuse box. So that's what I did. I hooked it up, live wire, through it. So it's basically said, if you don't know what you got, hook it up this way and it'll work. So that's how I actually have it hooked up right now. But, and it's really not that hard. Right there's some instructions on how to test for the ballast resistor. I found the Moss Motors video to be a lot more helpful on whether or not to tell whether or not you have a ballast resistor or not. And that was actually pretty simple. I think it said disconnect one of the wires from the coil, turn the car on. If you reading 6 volts or something like that, you got a ballast coil. If you're reading 12, you don't. And I tested mine, and here's the weird thing. This is a 74.5. Okay? I actually, if anybody knows that I'm doing this wrong and can find a freaking electric diagram that is correct for this vehicle, that's only one of them, I would absolutely love to know. Because right there, 7374 MGB, okay? That's what I got. But let's look at this for a minute. There's the wires it shows for the ignition coil. It shows white. I think that's white and black, and the coil wire. Let's take a gander at what this 74.5 has. Okay? I believe that's the 2 white and black wires. Let's look what we got on the opposite side. Hey, that's a green and white wire. I think this one also goes to that side. Hey, that's a green and white wire. All right. Now, let's look at these diagrams again. Okay, that's not the right way to hook up the ignition coil. That's for a 7374 MGB. Okay, that doesn't even have the right wiring diagram. Also shows 2 batteries. That's not my wiring. So, let's look at this one. What does that one say? That one says 75 to 76 UK market MGB from Haynes. Hey, there's my wiring diagram. But hey, this is a 74.5. I have a seatbelt module. Did you see a seatbelt module on that one? Because I didn't. See it on that one. Oh yeah, this one's also got the 2 6-volt batteries still in it. So does that one. So does that one. My UK market one from Haynes. Oh. Hey, that's a 12-volt battery. What's going on here? I have no freaking clue. But let's put it this way. When you read this one, what's that say right there? It says there's a ballast there. Okay? So, I'm looking for a ballast resistor. Now, mind you, I've already told you that I actually went and did the Moss Motors YouTube video to check to see whether or not I had a ballast or a standard ignition. I have a standard ignition. It's hooked up as a ballast. If anybody knows why that is, how that is, oh God, I'd love to know. But let's look at this too. I even went around and I looked for the ballast. Now, I can't find, there is no true ballast. But I did go online and looked up what a ballast wire is. So I followed that green wire. I believe that's the ballast wire. At least that's what I've seen online, to where a lot of people say that that's a ballast wire in the loom. Okay, let's follow that all the way back. There's a freaking another one. And I did follow that wire. That is the wire. So, it wasn't really that bad. I now have spark. The other thing that I did is I went online. I found another diagram. And if you look at right here, this is probably, yeah, Petron. Okay, so I was thinking about this box when I told you Petronix or something like that, probably. Okay, if you see right here, I've got the red and white wire, and if you remember, that red and white wire over here was the ignition key on. Now, there's a freaking seatbelt module system in here that will not allow you to start the vehicle if your seatbelts aren't done and stuff like that. This is the way to bypass that system. This Petronix box is it's brand new old stock. The other thing about this is these are hard to get. You can't get these brand new anymore. They don't make them. So once this goes kaput, this is basically what you're going to have to do. I have those wires soldered together right there. And I think I still have the pins. I put the pins back in there, just in case I really want to run the box or anything like that, or if somebody really wants to actually take the time to do this right, to put the seatbelt module back in. I am not putting that back in. But this video is getting a little bit long. I already see that it's already 12 minutes and 20 seconds. So I'm going to pause this, and we'll make this part 1.